Hi Pisces, welcome back to As Above So Below Healing Tarot, where you are the magic baby. This is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Pisceans. My name is Tiffany. And Pisces, I goofed up. Mercury retrograde clocked me. We have a new moon in Cancer today, not Leo. Leo is next month, so my bad. But still, we're working with the energies of Leo, with the sun being in Leo and the moon being in Cancer. So we're just gonna ride with it. But today is gonna be all about the heart, all about the love aspect of your life. So we're gonna jump into the Mermaid Oracle deck. And Pisces, I am having a new moon in Cancer ritual tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. And it's all gonna be about sinking into the heart space and really looking at where we can shift our dynamics with ourselves and with our loved ones. We have Venus in Virgo right now, which is all about really taking stock and looking at where we have been holding certain expectations, where we've been kind of having a specific version of ourselves in the relationships, and where we can move past some blockages. So if you'd like to join that, the link for it is in the description box below. I'd love to see you there. So, all right, Pisces, let's get into this. All right, we have experiments, manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, arrogance. And then we have honor the masculine, respecting men, embracing the masculine divine. Okay, so for some of you, you may have been dealing with a little bit of manipulation. And I feel like this is also honoring the masculine in you and making decisions for yourself. Naturally, Pisces is a very feminine sign, but when you tap into your masculine and you have a balanced feminine, you create a lot of harmony in your life. And I feel like some of you have had to really take the reins in your own hands because you have been dealing with some manipulation, with things that have not been fair, and you are really taking the power back into your own hands. And you have sacrifice. There are those worth making. There are those that will destroy you. Okay, we're getting deep in this one. So a lot of you have had to sacrifice or learn the lesson of no longer sacrificing your needs, your wants. And perhaps you have had to sacrifice other people, other dynamics, other relationships, because you have been giving too much of yourself away. So I'm feeling a lot of in the heart space. I feel some loneliness, I feel some betrayal, and I feel like it's challenging for you to find people who meet you at your depth, Pisces. And that's really hard because you are naturally a very deep sign, and that's where that expectation comes into, because a lot of the times when you're in a relationship or even in a friendship, you want the love to be reciprocal, but not everybody loves like you, Pisces. You are one of the deepest signs of the zodiac, and your love often is a lot of people don't know how to dive into that depth. And if you're meeting people where they are, that can be self-sacrificing. So I think that's what you're looking at. And you have stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Yeah, so I feel like after a time of heartache, of not being fully understood, you are taking the high road. You're like, I am going to see the good out of the situation. I am no longer going to be retreating and pulling into myself because these people can't meet me where I am. You are no longer sacrificing your love for people who can't meet you there. So, all right, let's get into the tarot here. All right, and we're barefaced today. I just got done with a client, so this is what's happening. So it is a raw day. All right, Spirit, what else is going on for Pisces for this new moon in Cancer? The wheel, love this, yes. Okay, wow, whoa, this is a lot that just flipped, but the High Priestess is there. Pisces, you know you are being called to end a cycle. You know you're being called to wrap something up. I'm hearing that song Shut Up and Drive by Rihanna. So some of you may need to take a drive. You need to just go somewhere and not think of the destination and just, I think a lot of you get a lot of downloads when you are driving, and get reconnected with yourself, because I think you've been in a lot of energies for quite some time and you're thinking about what's next. You have the Two of Wands underneath that, and then you also see this little, is that a, yeah, it's a little like Volkswagen. So go take a drive. Go, you know, really feel into the momentum of Cancer season. And we're going to be moving into the latter half of the year, and the days are getting shorter. So the veil starts to get thinner. And I think that you're really feeling into what is next for me? What is next for my heart? What does my heart and my soul need at this time? You have the Six of Wands, you have the Star, and you have the Three of Wands here. So you're really forward thinking, Pisces. And no matter where you go, you know you're good. You know Spirit has your back. You know that you are protected. But this period of time, this next cycle, you are building a foundation based off of your love, based off of your authenticity and what you want. And this is total, like, putting yourself out there. And the Star is all about, you know, vitality. It's wishes coming true. And in the Six of Wands here, you see people are cheering for her. And I think that you are wanting to be seen at a different level too. You are wanting to be understood, and whether this is, you know, you meeting new people for work endeavors or even friends or lovers, you are really wanting, you want more depth and you want more understanding. You want people who can meet you there. So, all right, I'm gonna get some clarification here. Spirit, what is Pisces wishing for? What is Pisces wishing for? What is their heart set on? You have the Lovers, you have the Eight of Swords. Okay, and then you have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, Pisces, I really feel like you are, you have the Five of Cups underneath that too. So you are really coming out of a period of time where I think manipulation and people who told you you can't do certain things, and some of you may be dealing with narcissistic dynamics, put it where it goes. And I think that you, that was you started to wonder, like, is this really me? You started to take on the trauma and the words from other people, and you started to see it as reality. And I think that you also equated that to, well, this is just what love is. But you are no longer putting up with that bullshit, Pisces. You are like, we are so much more powerful than what is here. And I think you're building a new foundation for love and for yourself. You know, you have the Lovers, which is a choice. This is all about choice. And you're choosing to get out of this limited belief, out of putting blinders on, putting on rose-colored glasses, and you are really being very selective with your energy, because I think that it has been siphoned for quite some time. So I want to see where you're off to. Spirit, where's Pisces going in this next this next level, this next thing. It feels a little uncertain right now. Yeah, the Fool. But, oh, Pisces. Clarifying the Three of Wands, you have the Two of Swords, you have the Two of Pentacles, and you have the Fool. So perhaps this hasn't taken action yet because you need a little bit more clarity. But I see that you are moving towards a brighter future. You're moving towards somewhere where you can play, somewhere where you can be accepted and loved in all of your depth and creative beauty. And I'm also hearing healing attachment wounds, healing codependency, healing anxious attachment. And I think you're doing a lot of inner work. I'm hearing like psychology, you're going to counseling and you're starting to understand the inner workings of you and why you have attracted or stayed in dynamics as long as you have. And you're really starting to look at the beliefs that have kept you in a loop, is what I'm hearing. And a lot of the times that comes from childhood wounding, from, you know, perhaps you saw your parents struggle with money or just struggle with having a balanced marriage, you know, and you see how it's playing out in your world. And you're like, I don't want that for myself. I have to change something. Something has to fall, something has to crumble. And as above, so below, you change what's going on internally, it's going to reflect in the external. And I know you're up for the change, you're up for the challenge, and you're doing a really deep dive into the deep layers. I feel like you're doing a lot of shadow work right now. We have some moody cards on the table, and some of you are also tapping into tarot, forms of divination, and you're taking back the power that you gave to others so freely. And Pisces, I feel like you are also starting to develop more of a Queen of Swords and more of a Queen of Pentacles mindset instead of just giving and giving and giving. Now people have to earn access to that Queen of Cups energy that you so naturally give out. And you have learned through the past that you can't give so freely to everybody because people will take advantage of that and they get used to that energy. And now you're like, I am no longer going to be giving my energy to vampires who are just going to use it as manipulation. So we're getting deep in this one. Yeah, but we're here spitting truth, okay? All right, so let me see. I want to dive a little bit deeper here. Spirit, what else is going on for Pisces for this new moon in Cancer? All right, you have dealings or relationship with a man with dark complexion or hair. You have chair empty, someone is leaving your life. And you have Broom, new home, new attitude. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot of simultaneous endings and beginnings happening. And you have Cup, you should accept valid criticism. So I feel like that taps into the counseling, or, you know, you deep diving into a lot of the self-care and the self-acknowledgement. But Pisces, you are not a victim. Even though shitty things have happened to you and you know it was not fair of whatever has happened to you, but you have a choice whether to continue the cycle or to cut it off. And I think you're choosing the Wheel of Fortune. You're choosing the new, even though you know that this is going to be hard. You are really taking your energy elsewhere and you're building a whole new foundation built off of self-love, self-trust, and understanding that you deserve better, you deserve more. All right, Spirit, you have pivot. This one just, I barely even shuffled, it just fell out. You have sometimes when things aren't falling into place after trying and trying, it's time to ask yourself if pivoting in some way would be a good idea so your life can flow more easily and effortlessly. How could you pivot even just a little bit? And coming back into yourself, how can you pivot your mindset from looking at a situation with hurt and pain? What did this teach you? What is this teaching you? Is it teaching you how to be more firm in your beliefs and to really be firm in the way that you show up for yourself? And you are really starting to put yourself first. And Pisceans are big martyrs. We will self-sacrifice until the cows come home. But you're breaking that cycle, Pisces, and that's amazing. So, all right, guys, thank you for being here. If you would like a personal reading, hypnotherapy, Reiki, I can do that all online. Or if you are in the Somerville, South Carolina area, I have a suite and we could do it in person. And if you'd like to join the Cancer New Moon, the link for it, all of that is down in the description box below. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Blessed be.